Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
Welcome back, Dallas. It's good to see your face. Yeah.
It's good to see you back, you blue blood.
Yeah. I don't know if you caught this last night, but it was the first episode of Unobstructed Views on NESN Plus, NESN 360, the alternate broadcast for the Boston Red Sox. An uncomfortable amount of Dallas Braden slander on the broadcast last night.
Care to dive into that? That?
I think like there was a discussion. Jake, you watched, right?
Yeah, a lot of Dallas talk.
Yeah, there was I think they were talking about like ugliest guy to throw a perfect game or something like that. And like your name got brought up. I defended you. I was like, Dallas? No. But I think we did a segment about bold predictions, and I revisited my A's making the playoffs take. I was like, I feel like it's not bold anymore. I said at the beginning of the year that might have been a bold take, and now I don't feel like it's very bold to say that. And a one World Series champion, Jonathan Papelbon, said to a one super fan, Jared Carabas, "You've been hanging out with Dallas Braden too much. He's brainwashing you." And
Pap. Come on, Pap.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, I don't know. There's a little bit of that. I think brainwashing implies that what you're putting in my brain is not the truth. I think what you've been putting in my brain is just facts that I've taken into consideration and made a decision on my own volition.
People wanted to laugh. People wanted to talk shit. Because there was nothing yet to really get you super excited outside of crazy statistics about certain guys. I'll start with Jacob Wilson. A lot of people were questioning, Jacob Wilson looks like he's going to get the bat knocked out of his hand. Are you sure that this dude is real? You're telling me this guy's a wizard with the wand, Dallas? That's what you're coming up with? Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. It's exactly what I'm telling you. That's what I've been telling anybody who would listen. And look what's happening. Jacob Wilson, and the best part about him is, for every reason that you love all of these other guys, and we love all the superstars that are, the names and faces of our game, he does it quietly in a different way. It's just playing hard-nosed baseball, and it's putting the ball in play to an extent where combined, the number is 11. And that is total walks and strikeouts combined for Jacob Wilson up until this point right now. 11. He's barely entered the double-digit realm of walks and strikeouts combined. So when you have a player like that in a lineup that you can move up and down in the lineup based on the other guys and how they're performing, Jacob Wilson is is used and being utilized as an offensive weapon in a way that I can truly appreciate, because it means you have to pay attention to the rest of the guys in the lineup. And they're starting to swing the bat. They're starting to come around. The fact that Nick Kurtz in the lineup, Jared, the other fellow that everybody was all excited about. Yep. One extra base hit to his credit still hasn't hit a homer. But when you talk about a dude needing to make adjustments at this level, for him to be finding ways on base, either via knock or walk, while starting to unearth that power stroke, that right there is something that allows this team to function on a different level. So for everybody that wanted to talk shit and run their mouth about what the A's were doing and where the A's were going as a club, well, I know it's still very early, but this is what we sort of expected to have happen.
You know how you, in a lot of interviews, Dallas, you'll ask players like, what was your big league moment? Like, when did you realize like, holy shit, this is the big leagues? Jacob Wilson has notoriously answered that question being like, oh, it was when I got interviewed by Jared Carabas at the MLB Combine in 2023. He's like on the record as saying that.
We'll go back to the archive, because I want the free world to know that for sure.
Yeah, no, he was pumped. He was pumped. He was like, man, this is the big time. This is the big leagues. Being able to sit down and chop it up with this guy. So shout out to Jacob Wilson. Shout out to the Oakland A's, or excuse me, just the A's.
Oh, that's $5.
All right. I'll Venmo. Yep. Who are just 2 games back of first place, entering play today on this Wednesday. A lot to talk about. I do want to give Dallas Braden credit. His picks, they did hit yesterday.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, congratulations. You didn't gain any ground on me. My picks also hit. Not a big deal. Whatever. Like thank you. Got some more picks out today for you. Those are probably going to hit too. It's up to you. Speaking of hitting, Texas Rangers fired their offensive coordinator, Dallas. I don't know if you saw this. We talked about me and Jay Hay talked about it on Monday. Sometimes you say, hey, we fired our hitting coach, and like that's a bad sign. That means I'm not hitting. That means Simeon's not hitting. That means Jock Peterson's not hitting. That means Adolis Garcia's not hitting. Like that's bad news. So you fire the hitting coach, and then you're like, all right, fresh start, clean slate. Let's go in there with an open mind and a new attitude towards hitting the baseball. And lo and behold, they hit the baseball last night. They hit the baseball last night at Fenway Park. Yeah, I mean, no one's going to make excuses for Lucas Giolito. It was a torrential downpour. I don't know if you saw the game at all, but he did look on the mound like he had just gotten out of the shower in full uni. But my counter to that, my counter to those people that are saying that is the Red Sox had the same opportunity. They played in the same conditions. Nathan Eovaldi pitching in the same conditions last night. So that excuse is not going to fly. I think, and you can speak to this, Dallas, as someone that only had 2 pitches really that were any good. Lucas Giolito only went fastball changeup last night. It's that combo is not going to get it done in the big leagues.
False. That combo will get it done in the big leagues. That combo can get it done in the big leagues. I'm a living embodiment of the fact that combo can get it done in the big leagues.
I don't maybe for like a day.
No, it'll work. I remember a time in fucking 2009. I woke up in late July, I think it was. We were in Chicago. I stretched and my elbow straightened out to about that extent. And it was because I decided I was going to throw the cutter every fucking pitch in the bullpen leading up to that start. And for the next month, all I could throw was fastball changeup. Not even a thought about spinning a breaking ball. But it's not like I went my entire career. I had a terrible breaking ball, but you loop it in there from time to time. What I'm more impressed with when it comes to, or I think what the bigger story here is with the Texas Rangers is the conversations that are being had now that apparently weren't being had, or it's just the idea of a different message in the building now. So what happens when your offense is struggling? Well, you go and bring in a guy who has one of the more signature bat flips in all of baseball history, the Booney bat flip. You plug the Booney bat flip into the clubhouse and look what happens. They fucking erupt. They erupt. And man, if you're Donnie Eckler, you're sitting there watching this game going, boys,
where the fuck was that?
Boys, like if this happens a few days ago, we're having pops on the airplane, right? We're playing cards on the showbird, and this isn't even a conversation, but that is not what happened, unfortunately. And it is now the Brett Boone era in Texas. Again, I think Boat said it best. Marcus Semien echoed the sentiment. Just need a new message, just a different message, something that guys maybe haven't heard. And that's not taking anything away from what Donnie Eckler was trying to do and was doing, but it's more about, all right, it's not working right now. We have high expectations here, and we're throwing the ball to the point where we should be a little better off than we are right now. We have to fix this.
Yeah. Looks pretty fixed to me. I don't know. I mean, even Jock Peterson got a hit last night. Not a fun game. Not a fun game to have the first Red Sox alternate broadcast cooking. There was really no high points for me. Congratulations to the Rangers, though.
Was it fun watching Eovaldi just shove it up your ass again, or
kinda?
No?
Yeah, I mean, I still love Nate. I mean, like no part of me is like, man, like he should still be here. Like he wants to pitch in Texas. He wants to be home, and I'm happy for him that he's there. Speaking of home, Jake, what's going on with the Celtics? Where's that series at right now?
Game 2 is tonight. Celtics down 1-0. They blew a 20-point lead in game 1.
Can I ask Jake a question?
Yes, please.
They're getting a lot of criticism in the media sphere right now about the the classic, not the aesthetics of the 3-point shot, but that they took so many and didn't adjust at any point in that game. Do you feel like that's a fair criticism, or do you feel like they're just going to do what they do and do what they do?
I mean, 3-pointers are how we won a championship last year, so I'm fine with it. I don't think we missed 45 threes again.
Jack it up.
That's good to know, because Underdog just dropped their playoff basketball promo. With the extender, you can play your way to increasingly bigger boosts each round of the playoffs. Start a playoff series by using your game 1 boost and continue boosting each subsequent game to unlock the next one. The longer the series, the bigger the boost. You're going to want to see how serious it gets when that game 7 hits. Hop on Underdog, the best place to make picks during playoff basketball, and get started right now. Make sure you sign up with the promo code Jared. That's JARED. To get up to $1,000 in bonus credits and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code Jared. Go Celtics, I guess. I don't know. I mean, you think you got it worse than the Sox? Well, the Giants last night. By the way, quick little shout out to Justin Verlander. His last 4 outings here, 23 and a third innings, 18 punchies, 2.70 ERA. The FIP is 4.11, but it's 4 starts, and somehow with a 2.70 ERA, the San Francisco Giants have only managed to win 1 of those 4 outings. So that trend would continue. Last night, in a very heartbreaking fashion against the Chicago Cubs, it was quite the back and forth endeavor. You had late leads being blown. You had guys running all over the base paths. Presley looked like shit. It was not great. The Giants ended up scoring 9 runs in the 11th inning to steal this one from the Cubbies. But up until late, it was an exciting game. You had the 9th inning comeback. I believe Kyle Tucker was the one that had the base hit up the middle to tie it in the 9th. It was quite a ball game until it wasn't.
An explosion of offense. What was it? 9 runs?
9 runs in the 11th inning. Yeah.
9 runs in the 11th inning. And where did I see that was one of the largest margins of victory in an extra inning game ever?
Matched the 5th largest margin of victory in an extra inning game in the last 125 seasons. It was the highest scoring 11th inning since 1900. The last team to score 9 runs in the 11th was the Padres back in 1994. And the 9 runs are the most scored in an extra inning at Wrigley Field.
Good Lord.
Oh, and also Ryan Presley is the second pitcher ever to give up 9 runs without recording an out.
Oh, yeah, it's a tough day at the office. What's the ERA look like right now? I know we don't use ERA to evaluate relievers, but I'm just curious what it looks like.
Yeah, we don't use it to evaluate them, but we do use it to laugh at them. 762 is what it was.
Honestly, not as bad as I would have guessed.
No, for a 9 spot, just starting
without
your
recording
season,
it out.
You know what? Yeah, just throw fucking 9 runs up there.
Just an extra 9 on my.
Yeah, we'll start chipping
it was
away.
208 before that.
Yeah.
So it's almost 4 times higher.
Spiked a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough.
The problem really is that it's going to take the rest of the season for him to get it down.
I was just going to say, this is where you go on a 2-week run where you've just been dealing, and you look up and you're like, 5.
Oh, it's a 462. Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, really? Do the numbers not know I'm fucking dotting zeros here? What's going on?
Yeah, I don't think it's salvageable. All it takes is 1 outing like that, and your whole season's fucked.
If you have it early, especially right now, you're like, well, come on, man. The summer, it's going to legitimately take me until September to feel good about looking up at the board again.
Yeah.
So if he has 13 innings pitched this season, I just did some quick math. He has 13 innings pitched. If he doubles that with 13 additional scoreless right now, his ERA would be just under 4.
Yeah. It's just. Yeah.
So, and that's with no blemishes. It's not crazy, but okay, so to throw 13 innings, it's May 6th right now. Mm-hmm. It took him 6 weeks to do it? Five, to do that. So we're now talking the middle of June. And that's with flawless baseball from here on out, or from here till that point.
He's capable.
But to your point, that's why we don't necessarily use ERA to evaluate relief pitchers.
No, but we can laugh at it. That's fine. Right. Yeah.
I mean, it hadn't happened since 51. That's a long time. Hank Borrowy.
Yeah. Yeah. We were still over a decade away from JFK at that point.
Hank with a
long time. That was the first text that I woke up to this morning. My buddy Clayton, Cubs fan, big BID guy. He was like, please tell me that you guys aren't going to talk about the Cubs. And I was like, let me take a look at the rundown. Oh, yep. No, it's one of the first topics.
Yeah.
Hang with them.
That is tough.
Yeah, hang with them. Yankees had a big inning as well last night against the Dads. Yeah, they scored 10 in the 7th. This was after, I mean, we didn't get the chance to talk about, I feel like the larger topic isn't so much that the Yankees had a 10-run 7th last night. I think the larger topic is that Devin Williams is complete ass. You want to talk about shitty reliever ERAs. Isn't he like up around 10?
Yeah, it has not been good for Devin Williams.
Removed from the closer spot, which I don't think we ever hit on. We haven't really done a lot of Yankees.
We hit on that, didn't we? Wasn't that a Jared?
Yeah, I think you were gone.
Maybe I wasn't here.
That doesn't mean you can't comment on it now.
You had completely given up. Yeah.
Yeah. It is a 10 ERA. It's 10.03. But what's crazy, the FIP's only 3.68, baby. Get him back out there, Booney. Trot him back out. 11 2/3, 13 hits, 15 runs, 13 of them earned. Has not allowed a home run, though, Dallas. Like, you have to hang your hat on that. He's keeping him in the yard.
No, I mean, at this point, that doesn't matter. I mean, it's because the balls
that matters for something.
The opponents have been closer to knocking the wall down than they have hitting it over the wall, and that's
Dallas,
fine because look at what's happening.
If I told you that I threw 11 2/3 innings against big league hitters, how many batters faced is it? It's 58. If I said, Dallas, I faced 58 big league hitters, you'd be like, how many bombs did you give up? If I said 0, you would shit your pants. 0 home runs allowed. I faced 58 big leaguers. 0 home runs allowed. You tell me that doesn't count for anything? That's crazy.
No, for you specifically, that would be incredible. Absolutely.
But not for Devin Williams? Come on.
Not for Devin.
He's the worst reliever in baseball.
It's not been good.
No.
But so yeah, I think that could be your bright spot. Sure, he's kept it in the yard. But I mean, has that worked? That major, I'll tell you this. Maybe that's where things have gone wrong. Because we all know what the homer is. The homer's the rally killer. The homer's the rally killer. So this is where things have not. This is the problem. He's got to give up more homers. Give up more homers, score less runs.
It's like a Nathan for you business plan.
Yeah. I think on the opposite end of the spectrum here, I feel like we often, I don't know that we got criticized, but there were definitely people that were like, all right, enough. We get it. Talking about Shohei Ohtani. It was mostly Dallas's fault. It usually is. But we haven't done a ton of Aaron Judge glazing for what he's been doing so far this year. Just wanted to highlight what Judge's been doing. Age 33 season, by the way. He's not on the back end really, but he's not a spring chicken anymore. 3.1 wins above replacement. That leads the league. He's scored 34 runs. That leads the league. He has 56 hits. That leads the league. He hit his 12th home run. We'll get to that too, because there is a story there that Jay Hay pointed out last night. He did hit his 12th home run. It's more about what happened after the fact. 12 home runs leads the league. 34 RBI leads the league. Motherfucker's hitting 412. Yeah. He's hitting 412. That leads the league. He's getting on base at a 503 clip. He's getting on base statistically more than half the time he's getting on base. He's slugging 772. Let me pull up some numbers here real quick, because I do want to give some context, because let's not let greatness just slide right on by when we're talking about it. I'm going to pull up some numbers here.
Well,
Aaron Judge's slugging is 772. I want to know whose OPS is that?
3. No, Jared. Aaron Judge, his slugging percentage of 772 is higher than all but 3 players on his team's OPS.
So Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just got $500 million. Aaron Judge's slugging 772. Vladdy's OPS is 774. To put things in perspective.
Yeah. Like again, on his team, the only guys that have a higher OPS than Aaron Judge's slugging percentage are Trent Grisham, Ben Rice and who did I say? But it was lower in bats. Goldie.
I think
Aaron Judge's slugging percentage is higher than Ellie De La Cruz's OPS, Jackson Churio's OPS after the start he got off to, Trey Turner's OPS, Nolan Arenado, Dansby Swanson, Wilson Contreras, Shea, Bangaliers, Julio Rodriguez, who I do want to talk about at some point. I do want to have a hard conversation about Julio Rodriguez. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah, but I know exactly where
ready.
you're going with that, and I don't know if it's as hard of a conversation as you think it is.
It'll be hard. It'll be hard to talk about it as a fan of the guy.
Let's not get derailed though, because we were glazing.
Yeah, let's still glaze. Let's keep the glaze rolling. It's a 1275 OPS, which leads the league. It's a 259 OPS plus, which leads the league. Total bases, 105. That leads the league. He's been intentionally walked 5 times. That also leads the league. I mean, it's not glazing when you're just saying, hey, this guy is the best hitter on planet Earth. There's nothing that he doesn't do well. And sure, there will be haters and detractors who will be like, well, until he does it in the postseason, I don't care. Sure, he has to do it in the postseason. No one's going to say that that's inaccurate or off base. Why can't we just appreciate what he's doing in the regular season?
We're 5 months from that.
Yeah.
We're 5 months from that. That's how I look at that. This is the road to that. And at times you can look at seasons and say, all right, this is maybe what we can expect when we get to October. Or sometimes it's individuals who limp into October and the lights come on, and that's when they start to show up just at the right time in the postseason. But for as much as we are starting to identify and celebrate the power speed combination in the game and what those players look like, I think you really need to put some respect on what we are watching from just a power and pure contact perspective. The reason that the numbers look the way they do is because this is a guy who is not only getting to the baseball, but doing so with extreme authority. And to not only be, like it says, on average, on base over half the time, whether that's via walk or knock, that's extremely impressive. And the fact that the power is supplemented with the ability to find holes the other way, it's an offensive season, and he's had many of these that I think as a Yankee fan, when you look up and you say to yourself, what did I just watch? Like, well, you're watching one of the best offensive players to ever do it. That's what you're watching.
Yeah, I think one of the coolest things that can happen in sports, or that we get to witness, is when a player who has established himself as the best at what he does in that sport then comes back the next season or seasons and actually takes it a step further to distance himself even more from the rest of the league. And again, this is not an Ohtani conversation. This is a purely offensive. I mean, he is the biggest offensive force in the game, and that has been true. The run he's putting up right now, in terms of what he's done since 22, is literally unprecedented in baseball history for a right-handed hitter. I mean, you can look up guys who have 3 200 OPS plus seasons, and it's Rogers, Hornsby, and it's Josh Gibson among right-handed hitters. Those are the only guys on that list. And I know Dallas. I think Dallas and I were talking about it when Jared wasn't able to make it. But one of the things I looked up for the end of the month was the greatest single months by wins above replacement in the last half century, as far back as Fangraphs goes with that stuff. And what Aaron Judge just did in March and April, and that for that matter, he's continuing into May, was the greatest March and April that we have seen in that 50-year span. And so, like, every year there are superlatives that you can come up with, and it never really seems to be enough for him. And I just he's not going to hit 400, but the pursuits at the numbers that he's getting at are, it's going to be another generational season as long as he stays on the field. And that's super exciting to see, because I think putting up that sort of season, and with the playoff thing lingering over him, just ratchets up the drama to that degree, right? Like
Sure.
he didn't take a step back and you're like, oh, he's just kind of saving it for the postseason or whatever is the narrative. He's actually raised the bar again so far. And that only raises the pressure on him and the team for what will happen when things count, according to those people.
And you know what? And once again, this is an indictment on our society. This is an indictment on, I think, some fans in the game, because this happened with Ohtani, the Ohtani fatigue. And it feels like, well, okay, are we really just now going to dismiss awesome performances like this and just fast forward all the way to the postseason conversation? Is that what we're going to do now with Aaron Judge? Like, okay, great, cool. He's going to hit 350 and he's going to hit 62 home runs and he's going to drive in 170. I don't care. See me in October. Like, is that what we're going to do? We can't
I don't think
do that.
so.
I hope not. Shit.
Yeah, I don't think that's super prevalent out there.
But
I think
no. I think it is very prevalent. I think it's already starting to gain as much traction as the Clayton Kershaw postseason narrative.
No, yes, I'm saying yes. I agree that the Aaron Judge playoff narrative exists and is prevalent out there. But I think what we were talking about, how there are fans who can't appreciate what he's doing right now because of the postseason thing. I don't think that that's as big of a narrative as we may think. But also, if you are pushing that narrative, it's mostly trolling. Like I think even like the biggest Yankee or Aaron Judge hater has to look at his numbers right now and be like, "Holy shit!" Yeah, I
don't know how you look at those numbers and come up with any negative thought in your head outside of, well, he hasn't done it on the game's biggest stage, because he's not going to have 2 months worth of postseason run to do it. The postseason time he's had hasn't gone well. And that's that. We can separate these two things, though.
Is it crazy to think that the group of fans who may look at his regular season and say, well, you can't do it in the fucking playoffs, more fans with that line of thinking are Yankee fans than Yankee haters?
No, that's what a Yankee fan is.
Wow.
That is what a Yankee
fans
fan
are
is.
pieces of shit. Put that on a quote card, Jake. Dallas Braden. Yankee fans are absolute pieces of shit.
They would have no problem viewing it from that perspective. I feel like a lot of them,
because who cares the most about his playoff performance? Yankee fans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like if I'm just sitting here watching baseball on a nightly basis, tuning into different games, seeing who's hot, who's not, and I'm watching Aaron Judge, like, it's awesome. Like, I want him to fail in the playoffs because I don't want the Yankees to win the World Series. So I'm happy with it. At no part of me is like, well, until he gets it done in the playoffs, like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what bizarro universe would we be living in if it wasn't the Yankee fans who were the most critical of a guy like Aaron Judge on the biggest stage? That's all they care about. That's where the conversation starts for them, is the 27 rings. And if you're not helping out on that stage in that moment, then they reserve the right to turn you into the worst player they've ever seen.
That's fine. A significant percentage of that subset of fans, even if Aaron Judge were to hit 400 with a 1200 OPS en route to a World Series, if he didn't deliver a hit in his final at bat in that World Series, or wasn't the game winning hit himself, they'd probably still find ways to criticize him.
I agree with you 100%.
Dallas, you smell like shit, right?
Well, no, it's gotten better.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
I know, and it's gotten better because you found Mando. Right? Yeah, give it a little whiff.
Yeah. Fuck, feeling great.
Dallas found Mando. It was life-changing. I've been a Mando guy. Had to turn Dallas onto it because, let's face it, you spend a little time with him, 10-day trip. You're like, ooh, man, how about some Mando for you, brother? And that's why Dallas has a special offer for all the listeners of Baseball is Dead. That is that new customers get a $5 off the starter pack with exclusive the code and link, which is BID at shopmando.com. I'm going to have to tell you a little bit about Mando, though, because the whole body deodorant is safe to use anywhere on your body. Emphasis on anywhere, Dallas, because, man, was that an issue. The pits, the balls, the thigh folds, the ass, the feet, all of it was a problem. We tried to tell him. Eventually, he listened, to his credit. Eventually, he was like, all right, I got to do something about this. And Mando was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal body odor was being misdiagnosed and mistreated, as did we on the spring training trip. Mando is clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. They have the solid deodorant stick formulated and powered by mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts. That's nice. You don't even have to worry about stinking and putting something on it. You can just get right out in front of that problem.
They call that the Mandelic effect.
Yeah, they do. Spray deodorant, aluminum free, which is important and ideal for hard to reach places. All products are baking soda free, which is important. Choose from a variety of fresh scents like bourbon leather, Clover Woods, Mount Fuji, or Pro Sport. I know Dallas has been a Mount Fuji guy, at least recently. Did you switch that up, or are you still Mount Fuji?
Big Fuji. Hold on, you sped up. What do you got?
I said, are you still rocking with the Mount Fuji?
Yeah, still Fuji. Still Fuji in the backpack.
Which smells good. It smells really good,
phenomenal.
actually.
Yeah, well, it smells like the waterfalls from the mountain.
Yeah, it's one of those scents when Dallas walks by, you kind of you're like, wait a second, did I smell what I think I smell?
Did I just
give it a
smell
second
Fuji?
whiff? Yeah. Clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap. Which, by the way, apparently there's no soap in my house anymore. Like I came back from the UK, went to go shower, someone stole my soap, someone stole my Mando, which I get it. But put it back if you're going to use it. A little rude. So what I am saying is I have not showered with soap since I returned to the country. It's kind of what I'm admitting to you people.
Wow, you're adopting a lot of the habits from the folks across the pond, huh?
They don't have face cloths in the UK. I couldn't exfoliate. 12 hours after a shower, the average man's grundle odor level was a 5 out of 10. But with Mando, the average grundle odor level is a 0 out of 10. If you want to try America's #1 whole body deodorant formula right now, you can find them at Walmart, Target, and other retailers across the country. For the best deals, go to shopmando.com. Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for all of our listeners, new customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code that equates to over 40% off your starter pack when you use the promo code BID at shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com. Please support Baseball is Dead. Tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. What part of exfoliating was funny to you, Dallas?
It's funny to think about. It's funny to think
You don't
about.
exfoliate?
Does it look like I exfoliate? No.
I don't know. You got a shiny ass fucking head. It looks like you might. I don't know.
That's right. The glare, working off the glare. Yeah, I'm not a big exfoliator guy. That's all.
Jay, hey, you exfoliate?
Not really, no.
Okay.
I mean, I wash my face, but
yeah.
I don't have like a routine.
I mean, I'm not out here saying I got a skincare routine or something like that.
Why don't you just admit it? Just say it out loud. Just admit it.
Oh boy, here we go. I do have amazing skin. I do.
That's undeniable. Just hand up. I have a skin routine. Say that.
I mean, my skin routine is that I stay out of the sun. That's what it is.
Yeah. I think there's a little more to that you're just not ready to share yet, and that's fine.
Well,
that's okay. This is a safe space here. But
you think I would hog like a nice little skincare routine? You don't think I want the BID listeners to glisten the same way that I do?
I don't know. Sounds like you're keeping something close to the vest.
I would be happy to share my tips and tricks to great skincare with the fellas.
So you do have,
and the ladies out there. I'm sure the ladies have their own. The ladies, they're like, They're like, which one is the more technologically advanced? Is it Japan? Where do they have all like the cool gadgets that like they get to us like 10 years later? That's like women with skincare. Like women are so far ahead with the skincare compared to men. Like we're kind of still in the Stone Ages on it.
And I'm going to be honest, they have men to thank for that, but I won't. We don't need to get into that.
Yeah. Wow, misogynistic pig, Dallas Braden. That's kind of crazy.
for different scientific reasons that we will keep above board.
We'll try to keep it above board when we talk about Paul Skenes. You pervert. Paul Skenes still
run support. Fuck that. Run support.
I agree. Still unsuccessful in his pursuit of beating the St. Louis Cardinals. Not his fault. They weren't scoring runs for him. It was really a matter of what? One fucking hit, like Burleson with the double that just hit shock.
But just think about it. Like, okay, run support, it's easy to just kind of fly in and parachute in and drop a run support and get out of here. 32 and 2/3? 32 and 2/3 innings. When he's in the game, he has received 3 runs of support. 3. It's really tough to win ball games when you don't score. Like take my word. If you're going to believe anything I say, believe that it's tough to win a baseball game if you don't score runs in that game or over a period of games, which is what has happened for Paul Skenes.
Jay, hey, what'd you see from Paul Skenes last night?
I've seen more losses against the St. Louis Cardinals in his career than every other Major League Baseball team combined.
Yeah, 0-4. 0-4. This one, again, you can't blame him for it. Timely hitting, no run support. It's just one of those teams. Like that's going to be a narrative throughout his career. That's going to be his Achilles heel, the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah, but I mean that can shift quickly. That can shift quickly because I mean, how many more? Like he'll have what 2 more starts against these guys this year, maybe even a 3rd.
Who knows?
Listen. Yes, you can't really blame him for it. But you can a little. I mean, he had 4 walks, which is not really in 6 innings, which is not the level of dominance or control of the situation that we have come to expect from Paul Skenes. And I feel like we haven't really had the conversation because the results are still by and large like really, really good. And it's still early and all that sort of stuff. But like at some point, it needs to be acknowledged that this isn't exactly the same pitcher that we saw last year. And dude, come on. His strikeout rate was 33%.
Let me ask Dallas a question. Let me ask Dallas a question. Paul Skenes is 0-4 against the St. Louis Cardinals in his career. In 5 starts. This is not 4 starts. 5 starts. What is his ERA against the St. Louis Cardinals?
I think it's 2.75.
2.76.
2.76.
Yeah.
32
and 2/3 innings, 36 strikeouts, 6 walks, an 0.86 whip. It's buddy, a 10 strikeouts per 9. I don't need a narrative starting that like the Cardinals fucking own Paul Skenes.
That's why at 32 and 2/3 innings and you've received 3 total runs of support while you're in the game. This is as clear cut of an example of what more do you want me to do that I can control? What more?
I don't want to take anything away from. I don't want to take anything away from the St. Louis Cardinals though, because if you're winning close games, like good teams can win close games. Like all credit in the world. Tip your cap, credit to the St. Louis Cardinals. Like you have faced Paul Skenes 5 times. You've beaten him 4 times, at least like handing him the actual loss. But you don't own him so much as the Pirates.
We don't get to kill the win. No. All right, for the starting pitcher and then hold that starting pitcher's feet to the fire with the flames of losses that he has. I don't want to say no part in, but good Lord, 32 and 2/3 innings and you get 3 runs of help across that time. And you've got a sub 3 with a sub 1 whip and you're punching more than a ticket an inning.
A very sub 1 whip.
What else would you have him do? What else would you have him do? Finish the game? Great. Okay. If that's your answer, fuck all the way off, because that's not the world we live in today.
That's fine. You guys are right about the narrative as it relates to his problems against that team. What I'm saying is, are we going to talk about the idea that this is not the same level of dominance through a month and change that we saw last season? It's just not. And if the answer is he's holding back because he wants to be durable over the long term, that's fine. I guess we'll see how that plays out. But like, it's not generally good to go from a 33% strikeout rate to a 24% strikeout rate to, like, he's already given up more homers on his splitter in 194 pitches this year than he gave up in 603 pitches last year. So like, yes, there's some sample size. Yes, there's probably a reality that he was never going to be quite as dominant as he was last year over 180 innings or whatever that we're trying to get out of Paul Skenes. But I do think it's a little bit disingenuous for us to glaze the shit out of Paul Skenes since the moment he came up until right now, and not also acknowledge the fact that, like, he's not building on last year right now. This feels like something of a step back. Am I
listen, and I can understand why there might be pause taken, because this is a guy whose billing comes, and really the foundation is the dominance, right? That's the foundation of what Paul Skenes does, is not only does he come out and attack, but he can render an entire lineup useless himself. And that is where the expectation has taken over. And if we're hearing a guy like Jacob deGrom talk about acknowledging tapering off and maybe creating a bit of a reserve or a reservoir of energy for himself so he can try to get through more innings and get deeper into ball games, who's to say that Paul Skenes isn't already trying to entertain that very same approach so that he can find himself deeper into ball games? Because maybe the taste in his mouth, all of the St. Louis Cardinals, is, you know what? The only way that I'm going to win these games is if I am there throwing the last pitch of these games. And how close we get to that, I don't know. But I think you have to give some credence to that.
So here's where I want to level with Jay Hay. Because to the question of, is it a step back? If we're being fair about it, yes. But it's a step back in the sense that he's not striking out guys at the intense volume that he was. But to Dallas's point, what if that's on purpose? Like, okay, what if he's looking at it and saying, I want to pitch to contact a little bit more so that I don't have to blow through my pitch
I just said that myself,
right,
45 seconds ago.
Right. But all right, so let me go by the numbers. So last year it was a sub 2, or he finished basically at a 2. It was a 1.96. It's a 2.77 ERA right now. But the whip, in terms of the traffic, the runners that he's allowing on base, last year he finished with a 0.947 whip. This year it's a 0.945 whip. So it's basically identical. The smallest of margins better. Hits per 9, 6.4 last year. This year, 6.3. Home runs per 9, 0.7 last year. This year, 0.7. Walks per 9, 2.2 last year, 2.2 this year.
That's fine.
The big discrepancy, 11.5 strikeouts per 9 last year, 8.7 per 9 this year.
If we're being honest with ourselves, the expectations that every single person on this podcast had for Paul Skenes is not matching up with the excuses that we are making for him right now. If we want to hold on, if we want to say that he is pitching to contact more and that this is a plan, I'm fine with that. I acknowledge the possibility of that happening moments before Dallas started talking. So I understand that that's a possibility. But I also think that we wouldn't necessarily be making these accommodations for another young pitcher with this level of expectation that was showing these signs of like a step back this year. And like, yes, okay, maybe this is a durability thing. Maybe he's trying to go deeper into games, whatever it is. The Pirates are 3-5 in his 8 starts. So as of right now, it's not yielding wins and losses benefit for the teams that he pitches for. And I know the Pirates offense sucks and that's all that sort of stuff, but like that wasn't the case when he was pitching last year, and the dominance left no question or less question as to what the results were going to be. I'm not out on Paul Skenes. I'm not selling. I'm not saying he sucks. I'm saying that his ERA is higher and his dominance factor is lower than it was last year. We slobbered over the split finger. It has not been the same, or whatever we're calling it. It's not been the same pitch that it was last season. And that's all I'm saying. We haven't mentioned that really one time on this podcast.
So Jay, to the point that I was making about tapering off, all right, there can be a subconscious tapering effect that occurs on all of your stuff. So now the stuff just doesn't have quite the finish because you are consciously tapering off. And those are situations, those are points that you're going to have to tend to if that is indeed the case. Something that I've noticed about Paul Skenes is the contact rate, contact, so contact outside of the strike zone for Paul Skenes is as high as it's ever been. It has almost 10% higher than last year, 49.8%, 58.6% this year. So whether it's him consciously doing it or the opponents consciously doing it, they are expanding the strike zone and they are getting to those balls. That doesn't mean that they're hitting them any better.
Hard.
And I would actually, as I say that, I would be curious to see what the average on balls out of the zone are against Paul Skenes for that very reason. But all of the other numbers like in zone rate, zone contact, shit like that, that's all in line with everything that we've been seeing throughout his career.
And you guys may prove to be correct, and I'm not even arguing the opposite. I'm not saying that he's not doing this, but I do think, like you cited Jacob deGrom, there are other examples, like Corbin Burns is a famous example of this, trying to do what he's doing. That usually comes later in your career. Those guys that we're just talking about are 30 plus years old. Paul Skenes is in year 2, and maybe that is a sign of maturity. Maybe that is a sign of a long-term vision that he wants to execute.
Well, he's very cerebral, as we found out.
That's fine. That's fine. But our expectations weren't a 2.77 ERA with a strikeout per 9 of less than a strikeout per inning. It just wasn't. And so it may prove to be different over the remainder of the season, but that's where it's at right now.
Paul Skenes finished the month of April, so we're excluding his last 2 starts, finished the month of April with a 2.39 ERA, and the FIP was 1.76. So really what Jay Hay's nailing him on are his last 2 starts.
Jay Hay, does Paul Skenes finish?
Okay, but that's a significant chunk of his season. We can't just ignore 2 starts.
Does he finish the season with a double-digit K per 9?
Yes. I think so. I don't think this is a permanent. I don't think he's a less than a strikeout per 9 type of guy moving forward.
All right.
But we're also 50 innings into the season, and he's not the runaway Cy Young favorite that a lot of people minted him as. And that doesn't mean he can't win it. But like to the extent that the Pirates are trying to win baseball games, it is required that Paul Skenes be a dominant force almost every time he comes out. And maybe he has assessed the situation. He looks around him and he's like, well, if I'm a dominant force every time I come out, that means we win 78 games instead of 71 games or 74 games or whatever. And like, maybe this is a business decision. And I'm not like, there's a lot of possibilities here, but like, even if it is a business decision, I think we still have to acknowledge that something is going on here.
Paul Skenes has taken a page out of the Rick Vaughn playbook. Remember when Rick Vaughn came back? Said, I got a career to think about, right? Starts wearing like, buddy. I think things worked out all right for Ricky.
Mm-hmm.
There have been 104 pitchers to throw at least 130 innings last season and 40 innings pitched this season. His year-over-year decline in strikeout rate is the 3rd largest of those 104 pitchers. So intentional, unintentional. I guess we'll see.
The Red Sox blew a game against the Kansas City Royals, and that was not a mistake. It was the Red Sox. It was Chase Mydroth, who was in the Garrett Crochet trade, had a ball bounce off his fucking forehead. I believe Cam Boozer, who pitched for the Red Sox last year and is in the Netflix doc, was pitching at the time. So the Red Sox actually blew 2 games last night. allowing the Royals to come back with the walk-off. Also, I don't know if you saw the final play there. Dallas, can you speak to this? Where, like, it was Luis Robert was running back, Bobby Witt's at the plate.
Buddy,
I believe the bases were loaded. And he kind of like lollygag, because if you catch it,
it's an
if
out.
you catch the ball, right? If you catch the ball, it's an out, and then the run can tag up and score. But he kind of lollygagged after it. Bobby Witt had just like a long single, like he could have caught the ball. If you're the pitcher, you have to be like, catch the fucking ball. Like that helps me, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you are not happy about it. You are not happy about it. And it's one of those things where, do we address that today? Probably not.
No, it's self-serving after a loss.
But tomorrow, we're gonna have a talk.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here, man? Like, we just got to play the game. And in that moment where that ball, like, not only could that ball have been caught, should have been caught, and you just didn't because you were just like, yeah, well, whatever, it's over. I'm too deep to make a play. This is what, and that, I think, speaks to the disconnect. That speaks to the disconnect, and that is what Will Venable has been brought in to try to mend. Is just those little things. Because if you don't care about the guy next to you, it becomes very tough to do whatever needs to be done to win.
Yeah.
And that's the mindset that you're trying to instill.
A White Sox loss is a White Sox loss. I mean, I don't care much about it, but like that's from the whole game. That's what stood out to me was Chase Maisroth getting a ball off his fucking forehead like Jose Canseco, and then Luis Robert just lollygagging after that ball. When it's like, yeah, like the run is still going to score. You're still going to lose the game, but like catch the ball. Anyways.
Is there anything more embarrassing than getting a ball bounce off your fucking forehead to lose the game?
I don't know. Dallas was calling a game the other night where, who was it? Got the one hopper off the penis.
Oh my God. Oh my.
I'd say that's far more embarrassing, especially when like you're not a first baseman. You go to cover first base. You're like, oh man, like I'm over here to make the play. And you just get a one hopper right to the balls.
No cup. Oh
yeah.
I was doing a softball home run derby once with my friends in a semester in between college, and somebody hit a fly ball, and my unathletic friend went to go kind of field it, shag the fly ball in the outfield, and I turned my back and started walking towards the dugout, and I just heard what is still to this day the most blood-curdling scream I've ever heard from somebody, and this sound that sounded like something smashing a fucking pumpkin. And it was fucking fly ball smashing my buddy right in the fucking face because he didn't catch it. Had to get shipped off to the hospital. That was the end of the home run. Well, actually, I don't even know if that was the end of the home run derby that day, but it was the end for him.
Show goes on, I think.
That is no good.
Yeah.
His face has never recovered. Still pretty ugly.
Yeah. It's tough. That's tough. Braves Reds. So another walk-off piece here. It was a 1-0 ball game in the ninth, but before we got to the 1-0 aspect of this ball game, Chris Sale went out and threw 112 pitches, I believe. Season high for him. 10 punch outs, which is now ties a season high because he did it his last time out. He ended up going 6 2/3. The outing didn't end the way that he wanted to, but the bullpen kind of bailed him out. I think he left a couple runners on. He was pissed at the umpire when he was walking off the mound at the end of his outing, but Sale appears to be Sale after a not so Chris Sale start to the year. And then the Atlanta Braves, who are in pursuit, hot on the trails of getting back to 500, were trailing 1-0 in the ninth inning. They mount a little bit of a comeback. And then give him the keys. Marcell Ozuna from the Braves walks it off, his 6th career walk-off hit. And the Braves win this one. They steal one out from under the Cincinnati Reds in a tightly contested ball game. It's always weird seeing Alex Verdugo with the Braves now. Very strange.
Yeah, funky. Whoa.
Whoa.
Chris Sale, though, the swing and miss The swing and miss is what's impressive about the run right now. I think I saw last week against who's starting against the Rockies, right? 24 swing and misses. 24 swing and misses. That was more swing and misses than he had at any point in time last year. That's impressive. 18 swings and misses last night. Or Tuesday, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just still at this age, continuing to baffle the opposition. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Well, and it's also encouraging too, because not that you expect Chris Sale to go from Cy Young winner to cashed overnight, but
Right.
like the first 5 starts of his year, and really his 6th start was just kind of but like his first 5 starts, his ERA was over 6. And, you know, obviously with the injuries in their rotation, Chris Sale turning into a pumpkin overnight is kind of a death knell. And so not that, again, we all expected him to turn it around, but that he's been, you know, the Cy Young winning version over the last 2 starts is obviously very encouraging.
Mm.
It is crazy that his overall, like some of his swing and miss stuff is like at or better than what it was last season overall. even despite the fact that his ERA is over 4. Like the stuff still looks like it's playing. I know that there was some crazy stuff early in the season in terms of his batted ball data off of his 4-seamer. Like basically every ball that was put in play off of his 4-seamer was being hit. It's now, the batting average is now down to 379. It was like 530 through those first 5 starts. So some normalization there as well.
There you go. Yeah, usually if Chris Sale's getting knocked around, it's because he's just fastball slider. Like if he's at least showing you the changeup, then he's got a nice little lane to success.
And that's all the changeup's been so far this year, at least results wise, has been a show me. Batters
what is it, like 6%?
435 off of it. In 9.6% usage. So need to get that figured out. But 6 of the 10 hits have been singles.
Huh.
I'm not even sure if that's a silver lining, because that means
no
4
damage.
of them have been extra bases.
No damage. Well, what else we got? Oh, the home run ball, the Aaron Judge home run ball.
Yeah, I was just curious what your guys' thoughts on that were.
I mean, not to echo the radical thoughts of Dallas Braden, but it does kind of illustrate that Yankee fans are pieces of shit for Aaron Judge hits the home run. Did you see this, Dallas, last night?
Yeah, but didn't he get the ball back?
I don't know if he got the ball back.
No, he got the ball back, but I was more it was a thought exercise. Like if that guy gains possession of the baseball because it squirts out of the other guy's hands, what are the rules on that?
Did he give the ball back because everyone saw on social media and he was like, I don't need my life ruined over this?
I don't know if it was prompted by a groundswell of social media support for the original errant fan.
Mm.
But I mean, that's what happened. Ball came, right? Dropped it. Somebody else got it. And then he gave it to him. Am I off here?
No. The ball was returned during the course of the game. So, I mean,
5 minutes later.
Yeah, there does seem to be something of like the surrounding area noticed what was happening, and maybe the guy's hand was forced a little into giving it back, but
probably
he did give it back. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's the question. If you get the ball and no one sees that you're the one who picked it up, are you a good person and you give it back to the person who's now devastated that it squirted out of their hand, or are you sneaking out of there with that home run ball?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to put myself in a Yankee fan's position, that's exactly what I'm doing. That's exactly what I'm doing. Hey, sorry, man. You legit let this go. This is fair game. And I'm out.
It kind of is fair game. I mean, like I'm watching it back. Ball goes into the stands.
Well, no, he caught it. Like the dude in the green makes the catch. He catches the ball.
Oh, I see.
And then secures the ball. But then as they're jumping up and down, the ball squirts
What do they
out
say
of
in
the
the
glove.
NFL? Ball control is job control or something like that?
Ball control is job. The ball security is job security.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I
that's-
mean, that plays here. I don't know.
How
I'd
about
be
this?
pissed.
We saw you saw the home run. Who oh my God, who hit it? The guy for the was it the Reds? Who like basically ran into the wall down the left field line and ended up it was Olsen. Ole hit a ball down the left field line. Defender tried to catch it and wrist hit the wall, and he caught the ball, wrist hit the wall, goes down to the ground, still maintains possession of the ball, but while writhing in agony because he could have potentially just broken his arm, the ball squirts out of the glove, and they rule it a no catch. They rule it a no catch. So by the letter of the law in Major League Baseball, this is not a catch. And that other fan who grabbed it would be well within his right to take that ball home. So there you go. That's my official stance.
That's the ruling. That's the ruling.
The ruling says it was not a catch. That second Yankee fan just gave up a ball that he should have went home with.
That's so fucked.
Yeah, that's tough. I think if I didn't know them and the ball just rolled out, I'd be like, loose ball, buddy. Fumble recovery.
Like, bro, what do you want me to do? Like, you were jumping up and down, you threw it out. Like, again, this is me putting my Yankee fan hat on.
Yeah, like if the home run happened 3 innings prior and then another home run happens somewhere else in the stadium and they're jumping up and down to celebrate that and it pops loose, then you give it back. It's like, hey man, you dropped your ball. But like if it just landed in the stands and it pops loose, it's like
this is
he
like
hasn't even touched first base yet.
This is like what happens in the NFL when the guy's running across the goal line with the ball, kick return, punt return, and he thinks he's in the house, but he's not in the house and he drops the ball. What would you have the defender do? Hand it to him and make sure that he's in the end zone? Or is the defender going to scoop that sumbitch up and run the other way?
Dumbest play in sports.
I love it.
Yeah.
The dumbest play in sports. I can't imagine being that stupid.
Oh man.
Just fucking
the
get in the end zone, you idiot.
The audacity behind that play is
The only thing stupider than that is if you buy tickets and you don't use the Game Time app.
that could be dumb.
That
Yeah,
would
that's
be more stupid.
Foolish.
Very dumb. Very, very dumb. Because Game Time makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer that it gets the first pitch. They have killer last minute deals, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. I know we're like kind of far out, but I feel like we should probably get on or at least start planning the All-Star game.
It was brought up yesterday. It's a good
Was
point.
it? Was it now?
Yep.
In Atlanta.
Yeah, hot Atlanta, baby.
Hotly.
Tim said we can all stay at his house, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
I like that. Does he know that Dallas stinks?
Yeah, but I told him we're working on it with Mando.
Yes, correct. And we'll be working on those All-Star Game and Home Run Derby tickets with Game Time. Last minute deals save up to 60% off buying last minute tickets for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. Save even more when you choose a section and you let Game Time choose the seats for you. Know your total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy your tickets. The lowest price guarantee or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Your purchase is also covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry today. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Create an account, use the promo code BID for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, use the promo code BID for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Dallas, what time is it?
Game time.
It's Game Time. Okay, a little I guess like a little newsy notesy situation here. The Cubs have already lost Justin Steele. They will be losing Shota Imanaga to the injured list as well. Obviously not an injury that's as serious as the Justin Steele situation, but still a big blow to a team with high hopes. This is a team that I think all of us picked to win the division, the NL Central, And they've gotten off to a great start. They've backed it up, and they have continued to play good baseball even after the Justin Steele injury. Justin Havens, can the Cubs hold tight to their division lead? Can they still keep the train a moving without Shota Imanaga for the time that he will be down?
Can and will.
Wow.
Obviously, it's not a genius remark to say that their rotation is in shambles right now. Boyd, Ray, Brown, Tyone, the people left standing. I think in the interim, and I know they said they're not going to rush Imanaga back. So that to me, when you see hamstring and you hear the first thing being like, we're not going to rush him back, that's to me the front office, the coaching staff, prepping expectations that this could be one of those things that takes a little longer than you would otherwise like. But I think the situation in the rest of the division is such where I'm just not convinced that any of these other teams are positioned to take advantage of this downturn on the pitching staff. And what I'll really hang my hat on is that, and we've hit this a number of times, but the Cubs legitimately have maybe the best, if not one of the best offenses in Major League Baseball now. And I think that is very real. And I think that's going to sustain the team in the interim. What I am most interested in is how they respond to the bullpen, because I kind of wonder if they respond to a loss in the rotation right now or in the nearer term by supplementing the bullpen instead, because I feel like those assets may become more readily available sooner than a starting pitcher who's really going to help this team. And I think it's more likely they give, some farm hands or some people at the upper minors chances in that rotation spot. But their bullpen, in terms of looking at the team and what actually needs help, I think that's the area that really needs help in the near term, because they're, last I looked, bottom 5, bottom 6 in bullpen ERA so far this season. And it's not like their supporting numbers are a lot better than that.
Dallas, what do you think the likelihood that the Cubs keep it rolling without Shota?
I think there's an opportunity to do what Jay Hay just said. That's where my curiosity would start to peak is how they go about it. Because I mean, if you're asking me, does this rotation look like it can sustain another blow here without Imanaga? Yeah, but for how long? Because, for all the questions that I think a couple of these guys came into the season with, and I'm thinking about, Matthew Boyd, thinking about Colin Ray. They've done more than their part up until this point. They have done more than their part. But this is where losing a starter can expose some guys down there in that bullpen, because now if guys are starting to have to move around, responsibility shift because we're covering more innings than we have been asked to, the wear and tear, I think you could really expose some weak holes sooner than you'd like to because of this. So this is wherever they find their help, I'd like to think that they're going to have in-house options. To Jay Hay's point, there's got to be somebody in the farm system that can come up and help. But because they have the offense that they have, I'm not terribly worried about the Chicago Cubs just falling off the cliff.
I'm kind of with you guys. It's worrisome. I think I just needed like a definitive answer, like how long are we looking at for Imanaga? But if they don't seem panicked, I don't seem panicked.
Yeah, and if you're looking for a real silver lining here, if that opportunity goes to Cade Horton, as opposed to let's say Chris Flexen, those are two opposite ends of the spectrum here. Like the journeyman veteran who could fill in the spot in Flexen is boring, no offense to him. But if Cade Horton is called up, who's one of the team's top prospects, and a guy in their farm system who really could be a kind of mid front of the rotation type of guy for them, with some continued development, that is exciting. And, if you're getting a shot at seeing him as a Cubs fan, and he proves to be an asset, well, then maybe you're in a better position in September than you otherwise would have been.
Yeah.
I got to go open a door real quick. I'll be right back. I can still hear.
All right.
Open that door. That's what life's all
still
about.
Hear. Yeah, because I would have just said a bunch of horrible shit about him while he was gone. I wish
opening doors.
He could hear us.
Let's
and
just
then
pretend he can't.
For the crowd of people that were like, why doesn't Clayton Kershaw just retire?
Fuck
The
you.
Dodgers have
Not you, those
Snell
people.
and Glasnow and Gonsolin and May. Like, what does Kershaw need to insert himself into this for? Just ride off into the sunset. Well, I'll have you know that Clayton Kershaw threw 6 no-hit innings in his rehab start. 6 no-hit innings through 90 pitches. Seems like he's ready to go, Jay. Hey, I don't know. When you see a rehab start like that, what's your take on it?
I'm just interested to see what that actually translates to on the big league level. And that's why I was almost I wanted Dallas to come back because I wanted to defer to him. But like, there's a part of me that sees Clayton Kershaw dominant in rehab start over 6 innings. And I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, let's go, man. And then there's a part of me that's like literally, so what? Like that maybe means that his arm is functioning, which is like important, but like DB, like, so that's his 4th minor league rehab outing. What does that mean?
It means that he's able to bounce back. It means that physically he's been able to get himself ready in between starts and he's been able to take the baseball. That's, if you're the Dodgers, that is first and foremost what you are evaluating, because you want to see what the window of his contributions looks like. It's not even about the level of productivity in the contributions at this point. It's how many times in a row do we think he'll be able to go out and take the baseball? And then from there, you start to evaluate what the stuff looks like. But that at this point, that is secondary to him just being able to healthily take the ball. And because what typically happens, like in these rehab starts, it feels like they go one or two ways. Either the back of the jersey goes out there and dominates the way it does, or the back of the jersey is what gets your ass kicked. And what I mean by that is every one of those kids is frothing at the mouth, wanting to go up there and hammer Clayton Kershaw. Give me that fucking curveball. Let me show you what I'm all about. I'll smack that curveball. Or you go out there and you're like, bro, that's Kershaw. Like, he's about to drop that curveball on me. He's about to, and then, you look up and 6 no-hit innings later, he's out of the ball game. Great start for him, feeling good. So yeah, there's not a ton of stock to put in it outside of the fact that he is responding well in terms of rebounding, resting, and recovering, and then being able to go out and pitch, because ultimately these are professional baseball players. These aren't slapdicks up there. So you have to be doing something right.
The other thing that means is that if you were a 20-year-old prospect, you were 6 years old when Clayton Kershaw won his first Cy Young Award, and you just got diced up by that guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which, and maybe that's the secondary takeaway here, that he created some memories.
He did. I mean, that would be awesome. If I was 20 years old and I got no hit by Clayton Kershaw in a rehab start, I'd be like, dude, I fucking, like, if I was catching him, like if I was like the AAA catcher, I'm like, dude, I get to fucking catch Clayton.
That's an experience
Kershaw.
of a lifetime.
Yeah.
I always talk about like watching like the first big league rehab experience that I had was Matt Holliday coming down like to the Texas League and just absolutely just shrinking the ballpark on every level, like standing. Just everything was, I was just in awe. And it's stupid because the game just looks so much different with one guy playing it. And then I remember Max Scherzer coming out, and I think he had 13 punch outs in a 5-inning rehab stint in Sacramento. And I was just like, who the fuck? What? Oh my, how damn. Like, this dude, this is another play. I'll never get to the big leagues. I'll never get back to the big leagues. If that's what I got to do, like, I don't have that club in the bag.
He's a big boy.
Yeah. Very impressive.
That must be like what other like podcasters feel like when they see me. They just like see that dude's lats. Like that, if that's what it takes to be like a top baseball podcaster, I don't have a shot, you know?
I don't know how many are saying that, but
I think I've heard it. I've heard it a few times actually. It's been a little while, but I have heard it.
Hashtag echo chamber.
Yeah. Jay, hey, any last words for Cookie Carrasco getting DFA'd by the New York Yankees? Is this his swan song, or do you think he'll catch on somewhere else?
No, I think this is it. I guess I never know whether he's going to get that last chance, but I think this is probably the last we've seen of him. And in fairness, it was a pretty long last chance because it really wasn't this season. He's been like, listen, I loved Carlos Carrasco on Cleveland, so I'm not bashing the guy. I have nothing but fond memories of his contributions, his backstory, why he chose to sign the extension is actually a little bit sad, but or worrisome, but that he chose to stick around with the team was great. But since the start of 23, he has been basically as bad as a pitcher can be and still get the baseball. His ERA is 6.14 over 225 and 2/3 innings, 47 starts. He's been worth negative 2.9 wins above replacement, which is the worst in baseball over that span by some degree. So yeah, I think that this was it. I would actually be more curious to talk to the Yankees front office and figure out what they saw that they thought this would ever have a chance of working. Because, like, again, all due respect, like I saw Carrasco signing with the Yankees in a starter role, or like that eventually became a starter role, and was like, that's going to be a disaster. And it was a 5.91 ERA disaster with a FIP that's following right along. So yeah, final words, amazing career. Not amazing, really, really good. And 2-time Cy Young vote getter for when he was with Cleveland. And yeah, I mean, there was a sustained stretch of time where Carlos Carrasco was one of the better pitchers in the American League. And yeah, from 14 to 18, he had a 3.27 ERA and an average of 171 innings a season. That is a frontline starting pitcher. Maybe not a 1, but that's a 2.
Did he win?
Was really, really good.
Did he win 20 games, Jay? Was it 2016 or 2017?
In 17, he won 18 games, and that
18.
led baseball.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
And 200 innings, 226 strikeouts, 4th in the Cy Young. So you want dominance. He was able to deliver that at his peak. And yeah, it's just, he's 38 years old. The wheels are off. It is what it is.
I almost want to say I hope it's not the end for Carrasco, but at the same time, it's like
it's more.
I
than
actually
okay
think it's
that
best
it
that it is.
Yeah, it's more than okay.
That's a good way to
it
put
is.
it. Yeah, yeah, that's a very nice way to put it. Yep, it's okay. Sometimes it's okay to let go.
It is.
All right. We will be back tomorrow, Thursday, for the final episode of Baseball is Dead for the week. And Family Feud returns tomorrow. It's good to be back in the United States of America, because then I can play Family Feud. They banned it in the UK. I don't know if you heard about that.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I'll be back.
Too hot fire.
Yeah. They were like, I don't know. It's doing something to the women of UK.
It's part of the tariff thing, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So.
Jay, hey, we might have a situation tonight.
Oh, yeah, this afternoon.
This afternoon.
Yeah, I believe this is the first game on the docket today, is it not?
You might have
Yes, it is. 12:05. We're about to get started here momentarily. Carlos Santana on the doorsteps of history. So it's possible. No, not yet. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I know. I didn't want people to get confused.
No,
he's got to cross the line.
No, it could be.
But today could be the day.
You think that I wouldn't fucking lead off the show with that? You think that would be in the back end? That's crazy.
No, that's a good point. You always show proper respect for the Baines Major Club 38.
I get excited. It's almost like when you were in like grade school and you knew that your parents were coming to like visit the teachers that day. There was just like a different, it's a school day, but there's a different vibe around here. Like, you got to act proper and you got to be prepared for that. There's just like there's something in the air when it's Baines Meter Day on a Baseball is Dead recording.
And I'm going to be tuning in, obviously, to that Guardians Nats game here momentarily and see if Carlos can break himself off a piece of history and maybe secure his place eventually in the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown.
He could. You never know. You just never know. Dallas, do you have any final thoughts today?
Yeah, I want to shout out my man, Pyrography by Dylan. Because I moved into the new house, got an incredible housewarming gift. And he took the time to personalize it. And this is somebody who's listened to our podcast since the very early S9 days. And just to have that kind of support means a lot to me. Obviously, it was unprompted, just, tightening up some loose ends. And hey, man, just want to let you know, me and my buddy, we are huge listeners and huge supporters of what you guys are doing. They love everything that Jay Hay brings to the table, the nugs, the smarmy, nerdy, sarcastic, what we'll call a sense of humor. Yeah.
You said smarmy or charming?
Yes. Yeah. Smarmy. So just me. Nice. And just a thank you. No, huge fans of you.
Oh, okay.
Huge fans of you. Like so much.
I was asking.
No, so much so that
goes without saying, I think.
Yeah. And he put a stamp of your character on the back of the board as well. That
you're going to say on the back of something else.
That I thought really kind of just tied it together.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
If I'm being, what was there? Did you want it colored? Was that the issue?
It just looked like it looked it's just disproportionate was the word that I came away from.
No, I feel like your head is like just the right size.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if I were to have done it myself, it would have looked different.
Well, Dylan, Biography by Dylan, he nailed it. So if you're looking for a cutting board with outstanding and detailed what I'll call lifelike representations, look no further.
Okay. Jay Hay, do you have any delicious, tasty nugs for the listening and viewing audience today?
I do, and thankfully it's lunchtime, so perfect timing on the delivery.
Yes.
Aaron Judge, we were talking about him. I went ahead and looked it up to get some more context. 5th player in the wild card era to start with a 400 batting average, 12 or more homers, and a 1250 or better OPS through the first 36 games. So nice round number there of a season. Joining Cody Bellinger in 2019, Joe Mauer in 2009, Todd Helton in 2000, and Larry Walker in 1997. So stay hot, big guy. James Wood is the 4th player in NL history to have 10 or more homers and 5 or more stolen bases through their first 37 games of a season at age 22 or younger, along with Fernando Tatis, who actually did so in consecutive seasons, 20 and 21, Ronald Acuna in 20, and Ozzie Albies in 2018. Just to reiterate, Ryan Presley became the 2nd pitcher in MLB history to allow 9 or more runs without recording an out. Last time that happened was August 18th, 1951. Shohei Ohtani is the 6th player with 10 or more homers and 10 or more stolen bases. He hit those nice round numbers last night through 34 games in the wild card era, joining Tatis again in 21, Brian Roberts in 2005, which this guy is showing up on the list so often. I feel like we need to do a whole Brian Roberts pod because I don't feel like anybody, Jared's a little iffy on the Brian Roberts pod, but we'll see.
I do like Brian Roberts.
Maybe that could be an offshoot.
Yeah.
Brand.
He was a doubles machine, that guy.
Yeah. Maybe that's a Jay Hay After Dark segment. Carlos Beltran, 2004, Larry Walker again in 97, and Barry Bonds in 1996. And then we talked about Chris Sale, obviously dominant outing, most career 10 or more strikeout, 0 run games by left-handers all time. Obviously, you know who's number 1, Randy Johnson, with 44 such games in his career. Chris Sale continued his hold on number 2. That's his 27th such start in his career. Kershaw, 24, Blake Snell, 19, and then Sandy Koufax at 17. It's always funny to think about how Blake Snell has more such starts than Sandy Koufax. Obviously, different ball game, but still funny to think about. And those are the Nugs.
Okay. Did you also have a final thought, or?
No, Carlos Santana was going to be my final thought, so we took care of that. Thank you.
course. Anything for you, Jay. Anything for you, pal. Jake's takes.
Big game for the Celtics tonight. Let's hit a couple three fellas. Why not?
Yeah, I would love that. I want them to win for you. I wish I could say that I really cared if they won or not. I don't, but I care if you're happy, Jake. So that's why I want the Celtics to win tonight.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Let's go C's.
Count me in.
I mean, I care that Jake's happy too. I mean, I can't not say it now. So
Yeah. Dallas, do you care? It doesn't seem like you do.
I fucking said it. I'm
Okay,
the one who
just
said it.
whoa,
Prompted
I'm
JA
just
to fucking
asking.
say it.
Just asking. I got to confirm
Christ.
things. That's what I do. All right.
Apparently they don't have Q-tips in the UK either. Good
No,
Lord.
they don't, dude. You know what TJ Maxx is?
Yeah. Yep.
They have TK Maxx in the UK.
Cousin?
I
Sister
don't know.
store?
Yeah, it must be. Because, I mean, it's the same logo. It's just TK Maxx.
Wow.
Jake, book TJ Maxx. I want to know what the K is all about.
let's get the whole Max family.
Yeah.
TJ Maxx. Lefty, right? Lefty,
Yeah.
St. Louis.
Yep.
Yep.
Change. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
The old.
Yeah. You've seen it. You've seen
that 1-1 devastator.
Oh, no one touches it. Straight into the ground or right over it. Every time. Every time. All right. We'll be back tomorrow with more Baseball is Dead. And of course, the return of Family Feud. We'll see you guys then.
Wow.